Do not buy a Porsche Cayenne, at least not because it looks cheap. A used Cayenne can be one of the best performance SUVs ever built, but it can also become a financial nightmare if you buy the wrong generation, the wrong engine, or the wrong bargain. This SUV taught thousands of buyers a brutal lesson. A Porsche that depreciates to normal SUV money does not maintain for normal SUV money. Today, every year to avoid, every system to inspect, and the exact sweet spot most buyers should be searching for. Number 14, the first generation 2003 to 2010. The Cayenne was a controversial idea when it launched. Porsche built sports cars, especially the 911, and then suddenly it built a large SUV. It went on to become one of the company's most important products, entering production in 2002 and helping establish Porsche in the SUV market entirely. But the first generation, often called the 955 or the 957, depending on facelift, is now extremely affordable in most markets, and that affordability is exactly the trap. You can find a V8 Cayenne S or even a turbo for the price of an ordinary used crossover, but the repair costs never drop to crossover levels. Old air suspension, aging cooling components, transfer case and drive shaft concerns, tired electronics, worn interiors and V8-specific repairs can turn a cheap purchase into an expensive project fast. A carefully maintained late first-generation car can still reward an enthusiast who understands the risk and budgets for it, honestly. It is simply not the car I would hand to someone who just wants a dependable family SUV, with no surprises waiting in the driveway. 2 years deserve their own separate warning. Number 13. The years 2003 and 2004, early first-generation Cayennes are often shockingly cheap, and that is exactly why they are dangerous. An early car can carry old air suspension already near the end of its life, aged cooling system components, electrical gremlins, transfer case or drive shaft issues, expensive V8-related repairs, neglected service history, worn tires and brakes, water ingress problems, tired interiors, and depending on your climate, real rust or corrosion. Reliability roundups built from owner complaint and recall patterns single out 2003 and 2004 specifically as the years to avoid for a typical buyer, ahead of nearly every other year in the entire first generation. That does not mean every single early Cayenne is a disaster waiting to happen. A carefully maintained, enthusiast-owned example from these years could genuinely be fine for the right buyer with the right expectations. But treat it as a specialist purchase requiring real expertise and a willingness to chase problems as they surface, not as a cheap, everyday luxury SUV you can drive without a second thought about what happens next. Then the whole car changed for the better. Number 12. The second generation, 2011 to 2018. The second generation. Cayenne, known internally as the 92A or 958, was a major leap forward. Lighter, more modern, more efficient, and noticeably better to drive, with more than 535,000 vehicles delivered across this generation's production run. This is the platform most buyers should actually be shopping, but not every year within it carries equal risk. The early cars are still early production, which means they carry the usual growing pains of any new platform. Software issues, transfer case concerns, cooling system problems, aging air suspension components, and the same expensive V8 ownership story if maintenance was ever skipped. Then Porsche facelifted the Cayenne for the 2015 model year, refining nearly everything that needed refining, from the styling and the infotainment to the way the whole chassis behaved on a real road. That facelifted version, commonly called the 958.2, is the specific car this entire video is building toward, and understanding why takes a couple more chapters of context first, starting with the years you still want to approach carefully even within this improved generation. Early platforms always carry more risk. Number 11. The years 2011 and 2012. These are more modern than the original Cayenne in every measurable way, but they are still early examples of the second generation, and that status alone earns them extra scrutiny. They can absolutely be good purchases if they were maintained impeccably from day one, but they demand a longer look before you sign anything. Pay close attention to transfer case operation, the cooling system, air suspension behavior, the full electronic suite, brake wear, tire condition, and overall drivetrain feel under a complete diagnostic scan. One specialist owner resource identifies transfer case wear alongside low speed, shuddering, or jerking under acceleration as a known risk area across 2011 through 2018 cars broadly, and specifically recommends checking fluid service history before you even schedule a test drive. Never buy an early second-generation Cayenne off a short test drive around the block on a smooth, empty street. Take it cold, take it fully warmed up after 20 minutes of driving, and take it onto a real road with some genuine turns and elevation changes before you decide anything at all. A brand new generation carries its own trap. Number 10. The third generation, 2019. Onward. The third generation, Cayenne arrived with an entirely new chassis, new engines, more technology, deeper connectivity, and an overall weight reduction of up to 143 pounds compared to the outgoing car, despite carrying more standard equipment. It is more modern, more refined, and in plenty of ways a genuinely better vehicle than anything that came before it. But first-year luxury SUVs are rarely the safest used purchase in any brand, and Porsche is no exception to that rule. This generation also represents a real production shift, since Porsche moved manufacturing to Bratislava specifically to free up capacity at Leipzig for the Panamera and the Macan, a logistical change happening at the exact same time as the engineering change. That is a lot of variables shifting at once, on a brand new platform built in a brand new factory, assembled by a workforce still climbing its own learning curve. New platforms built under those conditions are exactly where a buyer ends up paying for lessons the manufacturer is still learning in real time, and that lesson usually arrives in the form of a repair bill nobody budgeted for. One specific year concentrates that risk. Let me say one thing and then I will not bring it up again. I have gathered these secrets and much more in a book over at theporschegeek.com. If you want it, it is in the comments and on the right side of the screen. That is all. Let us go further with the video. Number 9. The year 2019. The 2019 Cayenne is not automatically a bad car, and dismissing it outright would be unfair. It is more efficient, more advanced, and more modern than the late second-generation car in nearly every measurable way. But it remains the first production year of an entirely new generation platform, and that carries weight in any honest risk assessment. One HTSA-based aggregation of complaint data shows 2019 Cayennes carrying more reported issues than later third-generation years, and a separate model year ranking places 2019 as a year demanding more caution than 2020, 2022, or 2023. For a buyer genuinely committed to owning the third-generation platform specifically, a later example makes considerably more sense, especially one with completed software updates and all recall work finished and documented. Do not let the newer badge alone talk you into skipping the same scrutiny you would apply to any first-year car from any manufacturer, because a Porsche badge does not exempt a vehicle from the ordinary risks that come with being one of the first off a brand new production line. Number 8. Why 2017 and 2018 are the sweet spot. Here is the thesis of this entire video. The 2017 and 2018 Cayenne models are not perfect, because no luxury performance SUV ever truly is, but they benefit from something that matters enormously in used car buying: maturity. By this point, the second-generation platform had years of production behind it. The 2015 facelift was already fully sorted. The interior and infotainment felt modern enough for daily use. The styling still looks current today. The 8-speed automatic was thoroughly proven, and many of these cars were purchased by higher income owners who maintained them properly at Porsche centers. Depreciation had already taken its major hit by this point too, meaning you inherit fewer unknowns than a first-year third-generation car carries. A model year reliability roundup built from complaint and recall patterns lists 2015 through 2018 as the stronger years of this generation, while flagging 2011 and 2012 as weaker and 2019 as a year demanding extra caution. Treat that as a starting point, never a substitute for inspecting the actual car in front of you. Your test drive can catch this one instantly. Number 7. The transfer case test. This is one of the single most important checks you can run on any used Cayenne, and it costs nothing but time. During the test drive, find a quiet car park and drive slowly at full or near full steering lock. Accelerate gently from a low speed and watch closely for shuddering, hesitation, vibration, jerking, or any feeling that the drivetrain is binding against itself. Run this test cold. Run it again once the car is fully warmed up, then take it to motorway speed and lift off the throttle before reapplying it smoothly. Do not accept they all do that as an explanation for a serious shudder, because that exact phrase has talked plenty of buyers into an expensive mistake they only discovered months later. Transfer case wear has been directly linked to exactly this kind of low-speed jerkiness and vibration on second-generation cars, and a full replacement or rebuild is never a cheap afternoon at an independent shop. 2 minutes of deliberate testing in an empty parking lot, done properly and without rushing, can genuinely save you thousands of dollars down the road. Air suspension can feel incredible or terrible. Number 6. The air suspension check. Air suspension is one of the best parts of Cayenne ownership when it works, and one of the most expensive parts when it starts leaking. Check whether the car sits level after being parked overnight, whether one corner sags noticeably lower than the others, whether the compressor seems to run excessively while you sit there, and whether the suspension raises and lowers correctly on command. Watch for any chassis system failure message or suspension warning on the dash. Pay attention to whether the ride feels harsh, bouncy, or uneven across different surfaces, and listen for obvious knocks over bumps that should not be there. If a seller tells you it only needs a sensor, assume nothing until a proper scan and a hands-on inspection confirms that claim in writing. Air suspension repairs on this platform are never the cheapest line item on any invoice you will ever receive, and a car that already shows symptoms today is a car you should be negotiating hard on right now, not simply trusting on the seller's word and hoping for the best after you drive away. Cooling systems hide problems until they don't. Number 5. The cooling system inspection. A Cayenne carries a genuinely complex amount of cooling hardware, and every bit of it ages whether you notice it or not. Check for any coolant smell, a low coolant level, dried coolant residue anywhere in the engine bay, a history of overheating, cooling fans that seem to run more than they should, leaks near the hoses or radiators, and debris packed tight against the front radiators and condensers behind the bumper. One specialist owner guide flags the early V8 coolant pipe specifically as a costly known concern on this platform, and notes that some independent specialists now fit upgraded aluminum replacements proactively to get ahead of the problem permanently before it strands anyone. The point here is not to scare every buyer away from a V8 Cayenne entirely, because plenty of them run flawlessly for years with proper care. It is to make sure you are asking the right questions before you hand over a deposit, because a cooling system failure on this platform rarely stays a small, cheap problem for very long once it actually starts. Consumables reveal how a car was actually treated. Number 4. Tires, brakes, and the recall check. A Cayenne is heavy and genuinely powerful, which means tires and brakes are never a trivial expense on this platform, and skimping on either one is one of the first places a corner-cutting owner reveals themselves. Check the tire brand and its age, look for even wear across the tread, watch specifically for inner edge wear that points at deeper alignment or suspension issues, and inspect the brake disc condition and remaining pad thickness carefully with a flashlight through the wheel. Spokes. Pay attention to brake pedal feel and any vibration under braking, and be suspicious if a seller has clearly fitted 4 mismatched bargain bin tires right before listing the car for sale, because a Porsche SUV wearing bargain tires is rarely a bargain itself. It is usually evidence that corners were cut somewhere else too, somewhere you have not found yet. Always run the VIN through your region's official recall database before you commit to anything at all, since Cayenne recalls have covered cameras, fuel systems, lighting, brakes, and other components across different model years, including a 2025 campaign covering certain 2019 through 2025 Cayenne and Cayenne e-hybrid models for a backup camera software fix. A recall itself is not necessarily a reason to walk away from an otherwise clean car. An uncompleted recall absolutely is every single time. Options on the sheet matter almost as much. Number 3. Options worth having and warning signs to avoid. When two similarly priced Cayennes are sitting side by side in a listing, condition comes first every time, but the option sheet still matters a great deal to your daily experience with the car. Look favourably on adaptive air suspension, or PASM, that is confirmed working correctly, the Sport Chrono package, adaptive cruise control, a reverse or surround view camera, heated seats and a heated steering wheel, ventilated seats. If you live somewhere genuinely hot, a panoramic roof with no drainage or operation issues, a premium sound system, a tow package if you actually need one. Factory sport, exhaust and genuine 4-zone climate control if you regularly carry a family. Then be genuinely cautious around huge aftermarket wheels, low-profile tyres on rough roads, aggressive lowering kits, engine tuning of any kind, cheap aftermarket electronics or headlights, modified exhaust systems missing their original parts, poorly repaired accident damage, a car with only one working key, or any car with zero proof of servicing whatsoever. The best used Cayenne on the market is almost never the loudest or the most heavily modified one sitting on the lot. It is the one that belonged to somebody organised enough to actually keep records for years, and boring as that sounds, it is the single best predictor of a happy ownership experience you will find anywhere in this entire buying process. Enthusiasts and value buyers want different answers. Number 2, the enthusiast pick and the value pick. If you want emotion, noise, and a genuinely sharper setup, the 2017 or 2018 Cayenne GTS is the more exciting choice, offering sportier chassis tuning, more aggressive styling, stronger exhaust character, and a specification that leans hard into Porsche's sporting identity, in a way the standard trims simply do not. But be honest about the math here before you fall in love with a listing photo. The GTS is not the cheap route into performance Porsche ownership, since it can cost more to buy, more for tyres, more for brakes, and considerably more if it carries air suspension, big wheels, and a history of hard use at the hands of a previous Enthusiast owner. The smarter move is a standard, well-maintained GTS with factory options and original hardware, not a modified example carrying tuning, aftermarket exhaust work, and missing paperwork you cannot verify. On the opposite end of the spectrum sits a car most buyers overlook entirely without a second glance. A late second-generation base, Cayenne with the V6 engine can genuinely outsmart a higher mileage, or neglected S, GTS, or Turbo sitting on the same lot. It may not carry the same soundtrack or the same headline power figure printed on the window sticker, but it still delivers real Porsche chassis tuning, all-wheel drive traction, and a lower purchase price with more manageable running costs across every category, especially when well optioned with air suspension, a quality interior, and a fully documented service record you can actually verify. Everything on this list points to one car. Number 1. The best overall choice, the 2017 to 2018 Cayenne S. For the vast majority of buyers, the best all-round used Cayenne on the entire market is the 2017 or 2018 Cayenne S. Not the base model and not the turbo. The S sits deliberately in the middle of the range, where performance feels genuinely special without pushing ownership risk into turbo territory the way the highest output variants inevitably do. It delivers strong V6 performance, a more balanced purchase price than a turbo demands, noticeably better daily usability than an older V8 bargain, lower fuel consumption than several V8 variants across the lineup, excellent long-distance comfort on a real road trip, and enough real power for overtaking, towing, family travel, and the occasional spirited drive, all while giving you a realistically better chance of finding a properly maintained example within a sane budget compared to chasing a rarer turbo. Look specifically for full service documentation with no unexplained gaps in ownership, fresh tyres from a reputable brand, zero warning lights anywhere on the dash, smooth gear changes with no hesitation between shifts, no vibration on gentle acceleration, complete cooling system records going back several years, every recall finished and stamped, and a clean specialist pre-purchase inspection before you sign a single document. The model year gets you into the right neighborhood. The service history, the inspection report, and the actual condition of the car in front of you tell you whether you have found the right house inside that neighborhood.